keep you informed of what is happening, but also to give you relevant information as you go about the festive season. We know much as many people are in a partying mood, festivity time, but also it's very important for you to look at how the year has gone. What successes have we registered? And this also creates a better picture into the new year. Someone once said, you can never prosper when you don't look at where you've come from, where you are now, to determine your future. If you forget your failures or achievements, then you may head for a hard rock. So this morning, we want to look at some of the issues that have been disturbing this country in 2022, and with specific emphasis to the people of Karamoja. Earlier on, we hinted on it, but we want now to dive into it since we have a person who has been in this area for some good time. That is the RDC of Nabira Tuk. That is part of Karamoja. Cheyunese Nyonjo had taken some time without seeing him, but of course he's in a far area, though he's always with us on Spirit and watching Good Morning Uganda. It's a pleasure seeing you after some long time. How have you been, RDC?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chirabo and the crew here at UBC, specifically those managing Good Morning Uganda.
There's a time I used to see you on a weekly basis.
Yes.
Then with that far area.
I think when the distance grew longer, then your mind also got a bit detached from me. And then in your list of people to invite, I was at a distance again. So, but sure, I'm glad I am here once again at home. I want to greet everybody watching and those that are not watching, Ugandans, and congratulate them upon reaching this far this year, where we have just a few days, but these few days can prove to be too big in case we don't take care, especially people using the roads, the borders, taxis, and other people, pedestrians, and even people at home. How do you conduct yourself? Because I was watching some pictures of people boozing in the road. They are drunk and in the road. What kind of excitement? Now I'm hearing about the argument about these things. They are called what? Fireworks.
Yes.
What is in a firework? Really, if you have a brain, and people are arguing, we must have it. I'm even annoyed with the police. Police should have said no fireworks. Simple, full stop. You deploy. What is in a firework? Even you locally are saying firework.
Oh, most of
churches. When did Jesus tell you to do those things?
So rejoicing. I mean, as these explode into the atmosphere, it expressed some excitement.
When I was a boy, I came across locally. And the Seventh-day Adventists, especially Seventh-day Adventists, are very good. There is a phrase they use, of the world.
But
that you are of the world. And then you are of the spirit.
You're in the world, but not of the world.
No. There is a dichotomy going by the way you conduct yourself. When you conduct yourself in a certain way, say that is a man of the world. A different way, that is a man of the spirit. Now, when you go by the crowd and you claim to be a saved person, is it Jesus that you are different from others? You are of the world, but purporting to be of the spirit.
What to do is we want to bring you in what you understand, then you meet the gospel.
That is very serious.
So you come to church because there is fireworks.
Let me tell you.
It attracts, but you get the gospel and you're transformed.
When you read the Bible, I didn't see Jesus converting himself to the way other people are behaving to attract them. So, but we have seen this. That's why they even bathe in soda. And that they are chasing spirits. And even what they get even is some stupid material. That is it oil? Olive oil. This is when you check the political economy of these things. Is it the wine, the oil, all European goods? So you are helping the economies of the West to grow at your own expense. So you are also contributing to the impoverishment of our people.
Because fireworks is not Ugandan also.
That's it.
It's
So fireworks, and you know these things I have seen, even this thing, the Christmas
tree.
What, and they used to show some white things. Now to demonstrate, because at that time I think there was snow when Jesus was born, that there was snow. So do you have snow in Uganda?
Actually, let me save you that.
Because
that will be a topic for another day, all offset. But today I'm not going to allow you to.
Of Uganda really need to be saved once again.
But also things of the spirit can only be understood.
No. You deceive others, but not me. Not me in my house. No,
You need the spirit. Things of the spirit.
That is Europeanization. That's why
they put some of these things.
No, that's why for them, when there is no Morocco who talk to people without mentioning America, because America is their heaven.
But I'm a Morocco, I don't talk about America.
You have not preached. You go and preach.
Preach the gospel of Jesus Christ.
When you preach, say when I went, and you have not gone to America.
But even if I go there,
you have not gone to America.
Even if I go there.
When I went to America, the other day when I went to America, that to them, their mind and everything is America. So that is their heaven.
No, but even others have Rome, have Canterbury.
No, that's not about it's not about where people go for visits. But they were locally, many of them speak fondly about, in fact, when they speak about the USA, they even want to kneel down to glorify that
when did you last go to any of these churches?
And evil
when did you last go to any of
USA.
These churches? Where do you pray from? Which brethren do you fellowship with?
Please, that is just for another time. but what I can tell you is that I monitor.
Unless I wake up,
one of the things I do, I monitor
now,
you.
This Sunday, I'm inviting you at my church. That is Life Church Namasuva. Come and fellowship with us.
I thought it was a church in your house.
No, Life Church Namasuva, where we praise the Lord. And I'm going to ensure I tell my pastor, bring an arrow. This let him come and observe what is going to happen.
For me to come, I need to first investigate you.
Investigate?
Yes, because when some of them are calling me for visit for Passover and then say you come with the Echiwewayo.
Definitely, you don't go to the house of the Lord empty-handed.
But do you need to remind people?
You have to thank the Lord. Yes.
Do you need to remind the...
Now, I cut this short. And let's move on the state of affairs. You know, Chionesa Nyonjo happens to be a very old-time friend, but also a man who reads a lot. He's a university lecturer, and he likes, one of the things actually I know that Senyonjo likes is reading. A bit of controversy here and there when it comes to some of these things, more so religious issues and others. But today we want to focus on the state of Karamoja. Now, 2022 Karamoja has been a very hot topic on our agenda, ranging from famine, then later we saw cattle theft. I'm not going to call it cattle rustling, because what I saw and what actually sources were informing us, this was not the usual that the Karamajongs were used to. However, I'm happy that today I host Chionesa Nyonjo, where it's not about failures, but successes. But we are going to be dissecting these and see, were they really success? Are they permanent solutions? Or it is something that is going to reoccur over a time? As we speak today, what is the current situation, a man on ground?
I can only say that, first of all, let me make this statement. The greatest success for every Ugandan now can be understood in a statement that I learned in the early 2000s. Those of you who were at Uganda Management Institute and encountered a man called Mujenyi Enoch, may his soul rest in peace, because he died. He would say that the greatest contribution to yourself, the greatest success is your survival. The fact that you are surviving is the greatest contribution, the greatest success that you must celebrate. So even us who live and work in Karamoja, what the first success that we list is the fact that we are still surviving. Going by the mindset and views that people, especially those outside the region, have about Karamoja. Now, the next statement as a success is that Karamoja of today, December 2022, is more peaceful, more stable, and more promising than Karamoja of January, March, April of 2022, because the situation has drastically improved. The biggest contributor to insecurity in Karamoja, Nabiratuki in particular, is what you have talked about, cattle raiding. Cattle raiding, yes, I understand, even in Uganda here. I was in Singo, Chiboga Chankwanzi, to see my mother. And then they were telling me stories of people who come to steal goats and cows. But that is, and even in Chagwe, in Nachifuma, Nagalama, Mukono generally, and other places of Galuweru, because we are neighbors of Luweru. The theft of cows especially is not unknown to people there. But this is not the kind of stealing that I'm talking about. The raiding in Karamoja is violent, and the raiders, the thieves, are armed and ready to kill anytime. And they do kill. They kill the owners of the cows from whom they are stealing, and they also kill those that they could encounter and maybe want to intercept their movements. So this crime is not new in Karamoja. It has been taking place for decades. It is a very old practice, only that the degree has tended to vary here and there, depending on how it is managed. Now, people know very well that in the early years of 2000, government of the Republic of Uganda made a deliberate effort to disarm and pacify Karamoja. And indeed, people will testify, residents, leaders, and everybody there will testify that for about 10 years, Karamoja, having been disarmed effectively, got peace that was unprecedented.
True.
Now, there was a resurgence around 2019, 18-19 there, a resurgence of armed raiding. And that is the situation that I'm talking about. And that's where I derive the comparison, that in comparative terms, as we end 2022, the situation has drastically improved compared to the beginning, and that means even the previous about 2 years. The situation is much better. But it was not because people went to church and mosque to pray. No.
So what do you allude this success to?
Deliberate government effort, where the commander-in-chief, President of the Republic of Uganda, ordered that the situation must be tackled head-on. And then an operation codenamed Usalama kwa Wote, led by the UPDF and the commandship of the division commander, Brigadier General Balikudembe Joseph, and other gallant sons and daughters of in the UPDF, the ASTO police, then the territorial police, the intelligence services, the RDCs, the chairman 5, all the responsible politicians, because some of them, as I will be telling you, are not responsive enough. In fact, they are part of the problem. So this effort and the consistency of that approach to disarm and pacify Karamoja has enabled the region to realize better situation than it has been. But this does not mean that Karamoja, we can relax, we can sleep without care. No, the soldiers are sleeping in the bushes looking for these criminals. They continue to look for these criminals. In Nabiratuku alone, hardly a day passes without arrest of these suspects. And some of them have been remanded to Namaru, you know, and others have even run away, because what happens is that when there is an operation of this kind, the criminals relocate. They keep running to other neighboring sub-counties, like there is a place called Koske in Nabiratuku, which is near Napak district. Some of them run away to Napak, others even go to Nakapiripirit, because in Nakapiripirit, at least is better in terms of peace and security than Nabiratuku. Although they are the same people called the Pian. The tribe there, clan, is called Pian. So the others even go to Gisu areas. The criminals, then they can sneak in and conduct a raid. Sneak in, conduct a raid. So that is the kind of situation. But we want to salute the armed forces and the intelligence services who have enabled us move this distance. And we hope that as we start a new year, we shall now be completing and concluding the operation, where the people will now stay in reasonable peace.
Now, you've talked about the fact that you've been able to weed out, though there are still pockets. But then let's look at the real cause of this problem in Karamoja, which is Karamojongos, their entire life being dependent on cattle. Population is increasing. Can we still, in your view as an RDC of Nabiratuku, sustain this way of thinking that these people can entirely depend on cows for their livelihood in a modern day, and think that then we can prevent such raids, again, people regrouping and carrying out this? Because I was speaking to a number of Karamojongos during that time I was able to travel there, and they told us, Robert, our entire life is on cows. Now, to be sure that your cows are safe, you can only have an AK-47. So that in case anyone comes, you can hit back. For us, we don't grow food like you're talking about, not so much into trade. We have our animals. And one assured me that even today, that is why actually, I was speaking to one of the chiefs, I've forgotten his name. He said that is why some of us are slow to assist government or to support this move. That is why you find some key politicians, remember that I think a chairman, LC3 or LC5, who himself was even a part of this whole thing. He said, you're touching our hearts and our livelihood, and we cannot sleep and believe if I'm going to sacrifice 3 cows and get a cow, I'll do that. We may, and even ask, is UPDF and this we're going to be here permanently? Can it be sustainable in your view as a journalist? So I push the same questions to you.
There is a phrase which is common in Uganda, especially where people have gathered for discussion, for workshop, conferences, and so on. The question of mindset change, which is also a very serious topic as far as Paris development model is concerned.
And a hard one.
A hard one.
Because even those preaching mindset change, some need mindset change. You saw when these funds came, the would-be teachers first took what is for themselves. It was simple. But they are going to preach mindset change.
Yes. And you see, in some cases, people say what they don't believe, and they believe what they don't say. So that's the problem. That's you see, this is where we started about religion. People are talking about a different thing to a congregation, but they are doing different things outside or away from the congregation. But this does not negate the fact that the mindset of the Karamojong must be changed, and fundamentally, if we are going to realize your concerns, the concerns you have raised, because you can't have people armed with the AK-47, as you are saying, the guns and so on, because that is a state of statelessness. The state is there to ensure collective security, collective development, progress of community. That's why we vote in a government, we pay taxes for the state to be able to look after everybody. Now, for you, that's why traditionally the state should command a monopoly in terms of ownership and use of firearms, a means of violence. That is the ideal state. If you are not part of the state apparatus and you own and use a machine gun or any other firearm, you are a rebel, you are a criminal, you must be apprehended. But now for people to say, we as the Karamojongs or as these people, we must have our own arms, no matter where they come from, that is a state of rebellion and it cannot be accepted. So that cannot be tolerated by any sane state in charge. And that's why there is that operation and even other operations that have been there before. And that we are calling upon the Karamojongs, starting with the leaders, because the problem largely is about leadership.
Yes.
Because as a leader, what is the message? If I'm an RDC and I go seeking cheap popularity, to say, oh, but I think you need to protect yourself, then it means I'm not a leader, I'm not offering leadership. You know, we must tell these people in their face that surrender the arms. You don't surrender the arms, we get you with the arm, we arrest you and charge you in courts of law. If and many of them have perished trying to resist. They fire back at the UPDF, the police and so on, and have been killed. The one thing, let me tell viewers that they may not know, many people especially, and even me until I went to Karamoja. Because as I go there, I am also quite doing some study of who these people are and what this place is all about. Where are the problems? One thing that I found peculiar is the respect to life, the value attached to life. Many of these young boys who are engaging in raids don't value their lives. They are ready to surrender. They are ready for death. And one other thing, no, I don't think I've come across tombs in Karamoja. But people die. So I've been asking, do people bury here? You know? Apart from there's somebody, prominent person who died, I think at one time was a speaker of the Greater Nakapiripit and so on. Then I went there at the funeral and they told me, this man died, we are burying him tomorrow. But these people are killed, and I'm told when a person is killed, they just abandon the dead body. And if these were raid mates, they even disassociate themselves, they run away quickly, they don't care. Yet here, when somebody dies in the lake, drowns, I worked in Buvuma.
Oh, it takes a fortune to get that body.
Yes, they say, they pay some specialized people. They even perform certain rituals to get a dead body. And even in Uganda here, people cry, say, but at least 200 kumalaro ge.
But Magumba to get to
yes. Even if it is a shot of, if they are sure that this is the shot, the only shot that can be recovered, they will bury that shot and say, or a hand or a piece of his or her body. So now that's another area that requires mindset change. When the advocates of human rights observance need to focus there, that because the greatest right that a person can enjoy is the right to life, the right to live. Short of that, these other rights don't make sense. So until the Karamojong value their own lives and the lives of others, then change may come very, very slow, if it will come. So then you have got the issue of the sources of guns. The guns are coming from two of our neighbors. We have the top of thing in South Sudan, now it's South Sudan, and then the Turkana from Kenya. So even when we have disarmed, like the UPDF government did the previous years, then guns were sneaked in. Because, as you said, a Karamojong depends on a cow, and they are ready to sell, because they have many, some of them have many. So if they say a gun is 1 million, just that is 1 or 2 animals, and then he gets a what? A gun. So all these matters must be understood. You said that they don't grow food. Not every, in Abiratu, I have been in Abiratu. There are some places, Amuda, there's a place called Amuda, which is maybe, if it is a desert language, you can call it an oasis of sorts. Amuda, places over Rachat, you have got arable places, arable land. In Kanakapiripirit, when you reach the Kapiripirit, this part of the Karamoja. But the land is a bush. Because these people think they should not cultivate, they should be just moving, following a cow. But at the end of the day, they put out their hands and say, we are dying of food. Okay, if the cow means everything, now don't disturb the country. Let me tell you and the viewers, I want you to understand, you viewers, that Karamoja is a national burden. Everybody must do what he or she can to alleviate the situation in Karamoja, because it's a national burden. People don't understand. Every time the Karamojong is dying of famine and is putting out his hand for food, it is our tax, it is my tax. Definitely. You the trader, you the farmer in Nakasongola, in Guru, in Rwenshama, you know, you the man running a hotel in Mbarara, you are the ones buying this food, so it goes to Karamoja to look after a people who could have had an opportunity, like in Nabiratu. They didn't cultivate as much as they should because of insecurity. Nakapiripirit and other places. Amudat is relatively okay. It is places like maybe Kotido, but even my colleague Honoria Ambrose, the RDC there, tells me he grows acres and acres of groundnuts. Does he grow? Are there hanging gardens that where he grows his groundnuts? If the RDC, who is not native of that place, goes there and grows acres and acres of groundnuts, what about the local person? So we must change their mind to say, yes, you can do rearing of cows, at the same time growing crops to sustain yourself. Some of these fellows, when they grow food crops like sorghum, which they eat, use their staple food, they get tempted to sell it, to drink water. All this is about the mindset change.
Actually, I remember when statistics were indicating people who are dying, and the ministry came out and said, these were not dying of hunger, they're dying of booze, local brew. No,
waragi. The local brew, which is like Bugisu. When you are in Bugisu, they say, Kamarwa kefe kaba masava. That's not as dangerous. But this one of Wandago, this waragi of Wandago here in Jinja here. Wandago, Kasese, Lila. That is the one that is key. That's why we pour. In Abiratu, we poured 360 jerrycans of waragi. That's a big, in terms of money, it's a lot of money. Now, and these in the other districts have been pouring out waragi, imported from Buganda, imported from Busoga, imported from Kasese, I think, and some other places. So the mind must be changed. Now, the other thing that people don't know is that Karamoja is the land of poverty, but in wealth.
We know they have minerals.
Yes, without talking about minerals, because they may not have the capacity to extract them, but the ordinary person. I have statistical information about the revenue accruing from sale of livestock. I can give just a sample. In Nabiratuku alone, in April 2022, the sales from livestock, official, that is the animals that went to the market, or markets. And we have got about, for us, we have, I think, 1.5 markets. Because the one in Nabiratuku is not a big market. It is the one of Rorachat, which is a big market. Now, we sold, sales amounted to 1.1 billion shillings.
Oh.
In April alone. April alone. Now, in the succeeding years, I mean in months, it was, the sales were not less than 500 million shillings. Amudat of the Pokot. In the month of September 2022, the information that I have is that they sold. Now, for them, they have even camels. You know, others call them camels. Camels, donkeys, sheep, cows, or cattle, goats. 3 billion shillings, 1 month.
Chair unit.
When you are this way in Uganda, in Kampala, oh, you live the Karamojong, Peter the Karamojong, they are poor, they are poor. Now,
but how come this mind is not, we don't see social transformation, it's not reflected in their livelihood? I have been in Karamoja for some time, they are still in their manyatas, dress code, their social life.
No, having a manyata should not necessarily indicate poverty. And even when the way I dress, you know, me, I never put on a suit, for instance. Is it because I cannot afford a suit? Or a tie? How much does a necktie like this? I don't want. It is a part of my ideological thinking. You know, I don't want to glorify these fellows, these criminals of the US and the Europeans.
I know you're very Pan-Africanist, and there you go extreme.
Yes, yes, but that is for another time. Now, but for me, because again, the greatest need that a human being must satisfy is feeding, food. You know, it means we wouldn't be seeing open hands to us, saying, "Oh, hello." I pity the Right Honorable Nabanja because, hello, Prime Minister, what are you doing? And these are the leaders.
We are dying.
Yes, and my problem with leaders of that kind is that when they are rains, you don't hear them rebuking and guiding the locals. Go to the garden and grow food. Go. No, but they harass Nabanja. Hello, Prime Minister, where is the food? Did you grow it in Kampala? I don't see in the OPM's office, she has a full building. I have not seen a garden there. It means you, Mr. Kirabo, and myself and other people, for me now, I'm part of Karamoja. But you people who stay here, you say, no, you are paying through the nose.
This money is my question, because these are shocking statistics that you've just given me. I couldn't believe that we can have 3 billion, a billion
in a month.
In a month.
And now, out of one item, selling of livestock.
What then is the problem?
That's what needs to be investigated. And but part of it, I was telling you, the mindset. If we can change the mindset. I got a story of an old woman poor-looking old woman who came to where I work from, the office. I would call it my office. We were in a meeting of, I think, COVID, and the old woman sat there. I even told my staff, please help this part of this soda and so on. But after the meeting, that she was waiting for me, I think, that I give her some money. I didn't give her money. I think I just went before even I. But later I was told the story that, do you see that old woman? The staff now told me that afterwards they gathered that she has a corral of animals, of cattle. But we walked to come the office of RDC to look for 1,000 shillings. So it means we have a duty, first of all, to interrogate this situation. The statistics I've told you, I'm interrogating them. You know, what could be the problem and what needs to be done. Now to interrogate that problem and then see what must be done. Because this person, that's why I told you that Karamoja is a land of poverty in wealth. So this woman is a poor woman in wealth. You know. Now, for what she needs to be told, that's the work of consultants. Because the consultant will show you what you have, but you didn't know. Say, now, that madam, this is wealth. That's why when people are discussing the issue of poverty, especially here in Kampala, Uganda generally, they say, oh, Museveni atusiza obwavu, Museveni atusiza obwavu. Maybe they are talking about the pocket bwavu. But this person, before Museveni came, was staying in a Manyata, a grass-thatched house. But now has a brick house with iron sheets and has cement. These houses were not common in Kampala here. I grew up in Kampala here. It was, but take away these papyrus mats. This was cement. Now almost every house is like the UBC floor here. So that cannot be called total wavu. There is progress. So this we need to approach the Karamojong, but that requires the cooperation and collaboration of local leadership first. Okay. To understand these things in a modern way, in a manner that the government of Uganda talks about of transformation. Because transformation is not about turning a soil the other way around. No, it's about, starts with you. So that we see transformation in your life, in your surrounding. If a person who was keeping cattle, 100 heads of them, and he is not selling to build the house, he will sell to build the house, he will sell to buy food in case he has not grown his. But for you to have your 100 cows and then you say you want food from Prime Minister, what about, I've been asking, Buganda people in Buganda here, go without food for some months and they starve. I have not heard government pampering them and say, oh, we are bringing food to Setanamuganga, my sub-county, Setanamuganga, tubalete Mary. And even if it was the case, in Buganda here, there is a saying, Mazima Sabe, Tegamara Nyonta.
Very well, we can spend a whole day with the man on ground, that is Cheunese Nyonjo. But of course, he has made some revelations here that I think key stakeholders must investigate. We talk about that money, and this money remains in Karamoja because it's given to the people there, not taxed. These people bring their animals and they get this money. Why do we see situations as they are? Well, that we shall also keep on understanding and following up in the coming year. But Senyonjo, let me just have your New Year's message to Ugandans.
Well, thank you very much, Mohamed Chirabo, the viewers, Ugandans. We have just a few days to go. When I oppose the Europeans, they keep reminding me that, but what about the calendar? You are following the European calendar. Okay, that is what I'm using now. I started with a citation of the late Enoch's statement, survival. You have our duties to survive. So keep yourself safe. Be sober. And keep yourself away from many of these things that can constitute a threat to your life as a human being. And then the lives of your house, the lives of your surrounding, the life of your village, and that means the entire country. Celebrating, I have always asked, I questioned these things when I was still a boy, because whenever they would say, today is special, yes, it is Sunday, I would look up the sky to check what is different from yesterday, nothing. So even when we transcend from 2022 to 2023, the grass will remain green if it was green, cocks will crow, and they will lay eggs as they have been laying. In fact, a cock does not know that today is 2023. No. So let's look at nature. Nature remains the same. So it is just calculations. We must not lose, we should not lose our mind, we should not lose our hearts and our humanity. Let us focus on 2023. We keep struggling about survival and so on. Don't waste beyond what you have. And by the way, that is my secret. You could say, but you're a rich man. I'm not a rich man. But because for you, no. I spend what you have, but not entirely. Spend according to what you have. If I have 10,000 shillings, why should I spend 7,000? What remains in my pocket should be bigger than what I spend. Meat. What is it? Meat. Meat. You people. Meat. 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 I always ask, how many bulls have I eaten ever since my childhood? And you don't even give children meat. When there's a function, you don't give children. Give children meat. But you desist, keep away from the meat. Don't lose yourself. Don't lose your money. Don't lose your personality because of meat, because of bidongo, going that.
Ushering in, jubilating, 12 months of the year are done.
I always keep at home.
And the Lord has been with you.
I always keep at home, and I hear people say at midnight. Midnight, at night.
You're ushering in.
No, but a day cannot start at night. It is at night. You are even calling it midnight, but you are saying the year has started at night. When we were at university, I used to ask to challenge my colleagues. Okay, if it is the morning, because I had my friend called Onaga, rest in peace. Onaga would say, hey, it's a good morning. I say, no, it can't be good morning. If it is good morning, go and dig now. Because me, I grew up digging. Go and dig. You can't dig at midnight. A day is when you can go out and do work. So the day will be at 6 a.m.
I told you, I have to let this man go. I just want to thank you so much. I had missed you for some time. Welcome back home. Thank you so much for your time. And of course, those clarifications regarding Karamoja. We pray and hope that we shall have a permanent peace. We shall have permanent peace in Karamoja. But it takes all of us to have our contribution. Have a lovely day. See you tomorrow. God willing. Stay safe. Avoid excitement that can land you into danger. Be responsible enough. There are many years to come, many days to come, but do not end your destiny because of these remaining hours as we enter 2023. See you. Love you.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Every waking day is a reminder just how beautiful this, our land, truly is. The kind of beauty that you can only find here.